Y'all niggas got me hot.
Really, really good has okay for each of us. There is one overflowing. For me, legendary has now taken over into two levels. For Nebi, pretty good has taken over into another level. You know, Nebi, a few podcasts ago, Nebi, you said, well, there's either, when it comes to movies, they're either good or garbage. And I feel like this disproves his claim, where more than like a quarter of his movies are in pretty good, which is pretty much average. And for you, really, really good is where you're overflowing, and pretty good, actually. Oh, I see, baby. Okay.
I'm an average type man. I don't like going bad or good.
Uh,
What are you talking about?
Oh, I was dissing you because a few weeks ago you were like, all movies they're either really good or they're pure garbage. But here, the majority of your movies are in pretty good, which means just average, pretty much.
Yeah. That's because you gave me the category, you know what I mean? I got the option. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay. Let's take on Lord of the Rings now, which it would have been nice if Hamza could have joined us for this because Hamza has all of the Lord of the Rings movies in his top, I think, 10 or 15 movies of all time. And these, I don't know when, last time I checked them out was a few months ago. I binged all of them in one day. And this is like I said earlier when I was talking about the Planet of the Apes movies. If you just binge them all in one day, you wouldn't feel like you wasted that day. It's the same thing with Lord of the Rings. You binge all the Lord of the Rings movies, you've accomplished something. These are movies that they're all pre-planned. They're all made in this one long 2-year span that just is a feat of engineering when you think about it as filmmaking. Everything in this movie, from the special effects to the story itself being a pretty faithful adaptation of the books, the actors, it's just legendary in every single iteration of the word. When you think about all the separate storylines, usually when it comes to movies, when you have 2 or 3 separate stories that you have to follow, here you have the getting of the ring with you Frodo, and then you have to follow the battles going on where people are trying to stop the evil from taking over and to actually help out Frodo from afar. Following these two, they might get hefty at times when it comes to other directors, other movies. But Lord of the Rings and Peter Jackson it does an amazing job. I don't think there's literally nobody that can convince me to put this anywhere under legendary. These are legendary. I'm gonna go ahead and put it there. I'll go ahead and let you guys talk about it.
Would you say the movies are better than the books? Or no?
Have you read the books?
I've only read the first one. After watching the movies, I went and read the first one. I'll probably go back and read the other two eventually. So
I praise you for that. Could never be me.
At least the first one is a pretty faithful adaptation. Of course, adapting a book of that length isn't the easiest thing, and you're gonna have to leave out some stuff. In the extended versions, they definitely bring in a lot more of the hefty things that some normal everyday watchers wouldn't want. But it's a really faithful adaptation.
I've seen these movies. I did like them, but I never understood them. I mean, I was too young to fully understand what everything was what was happening.
Yeah.
But I remember some cool scenes where they had to sneak in a castle. I remember. Actually, I did see this maybe about 4 years ago, and it was when Gandalf the Grey turns to Gandalf the White, and then they were fighting and everything. And I remember the big spider, and I remember these scenes. I can't connect them all. I don't really comprehend the full aspect of what's going on in this universe.
These are movies that they really do require your attention. You can't just sit back and ignore even a 10-minute stretch. If you ignore it, you'll be confused for the rest of the time.
Yeah, maybe it's because I was in a PSA's cognitive development of stage 3, so I wasn't able to fully understand what was going on. But for what I did understand, it was fine. and your praise raises. I would, I'm gonna have to say this is, I can't really say legendary until I watch it again. I expect it to be legendary, no cap. But for now, I did see the movies already, so I'm gonna have to say, from what I remember, it was really, really good.
Billy.
So I haven't seen these movies in a while. I don't remember too much about it, but you talking about it probably brought back some memories. And I'm trying to decide between really really good or pretty good.
Oh, gee.
Yeesh.
Yeah, I'm just like, what about legendary? What you doing?
I mean, I feel like
I just I don't know. It could be legendary, but I
I'll
don't
say
remember enough.
Billy. I'll say I think a few months ago, right before I rewatched it, I was in the same position as you, where I hadn't watched it since like fifth grade, and I didn't really remember it, and I was still kind of fuzzy as to whether I would. My expectations were fairly high because Hamza has so much praise for it, but my expectations were still exceeded by how great these movies were. They're unbelievable. They'll keep you. I'll say I myself think that the first movie is the best. The second one is the most exciting, and the third one is pretty much Endgame before Endgame.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's when you think about like all the hype that came into Endgame, and even for before that, coming out in a few weeks, me and Nevi talk about the Harry Potter movies. They're like in depth, like a lot. When you think about the Deathly Hallows Part 2 and then Endgame, that hype, just imagine that Lord of the Rings had that same amount of hype, and it
Dang.
it
Like Harry Potter level hype?
superseded it. Probably equal level, maybe even higher, because I feel Lord of the Rings has a really, really dedicated fan base.
Yeah, yeah. I
Alright.
was watching this video about Lord of the Rings too. I haven't even seen the movie. It was like about like the worlds and like the elves from this other place. I stopped watching it because I didn't want to spoil myself before I saw the movie, but I know it has a really big fan base, like Harry Potter does.
Billy, I'll say this: as a trilogy, these are this is probably the best ever. When you think
Oh,
about like these are all pre-planned, they're all the same story. When you think about like just pure trilogies, like Lord of the Rings, of course, you have the Planet of the Apes, you have the Toy Stories, where they're all one story that you're following the same characters, same universe. It's not like the Cornetto trilogy where you're going between like three separate stories, maybe not even the same universe. These are all. This is the best pure storyline trilogy that I have ever seen. And of course, there's some good competition, but I think right now, off the top of my head, I have to go with this.
but then the grandfather.
Yeah, all
Oh,
three of these movies. The third Godfather kind of, eh. But all three of these movies are just, I'll go ahead. Billy, what do you trust more, Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb? It doesn't even matter.
You know, I've never like decided. I
I, tr-
never decided which.
I trust IMDb more. The Fellowship of the Ring has an 8.8 on. These are 8.8, I think 8.9 and 9.0. Those are three. Oh wait, Billy, you know Shawshank Redemption? That's the number one movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that has an 8.4. I mean a 9.4, a 9.3. All of these movies are within zero point 0.5 of the Shawshank Redemption, according to IMDb. And then when you think about Rotten Tomatoes, they're all 90% plus movies. It has consistency. It has everything that you would want from a trilogy.
Alright, I decided. I'm putting really really good.
Okay,
yeah, I'm
now
really excited to give him that confidence boost.
let's go ahead and move on to. You guys can pick. Do you want to do John Wick 3, John Wick first,
Well,
The Dark Knight, or Rush Hour?
since I haven't watched Dark Knight, I'd rather do that first.
All right, let's go ahead and do the Dark Knight trilogy. Uh, I'll go ahead and talk about this, and then after this, I'm gonna make Billy talk about John Wick.
Yeah.
And anytime John Wick comes up, just like anytime Matrix comes up, I'm gonna make Nebby talk about it. Anytime John Wick comes up, Billy, if you're here, you're gonna talk about it. You introduced us to this.
Yeah, he
The,
did.
the Dark
I
Knight.
remember asking like Billy so many questions during the John Wick 3.
No
I
cap,
have
bro.
no idea.
This
Yeah.
dude, man, had me explaining the whole freaking trilogy.
Yeah.
All you need to know is that it was a puppy or a dog.
All right.
Yeah. I think,
So Dark Knight, you have Batman Begins, you have the Dark Knight, and then you have the Dark Knight Rises. Now, we all know about Christopher Nolan here, right? We all know about this man's level of filmmaking and how amazing of a director he is. With Inception, he has Dunkirk, he has Memento, and then he has the Dark Knight trilogy, he has Interstellar. He has made nothing but classics. And with these three movies, he takes on probably one of the tougher heroes that you could ever take on, going head in with Batman, who previously had the Batman 1989 and then the other Batman movies that came out in the 90s. And everybody didn't really trust that he would do an amazing job. They saw Memento, they saw The Prestige, they saw all these movies that he had done amazing, Insomnia. But then going into Batman Begins, everybody was astounded.
okay.
It's when I think about Batman Begins, I gotta say it's my least favorite of the three. But this is definitely attributed to my hate of origin stories lately. The first 45 minutes of Batman Begins, I myself don't like. But you have to take that with a hint of salt because the last hour and 25 minutes, those are amazing. Like you get to the final battle in this, it seems a bit misplaced at times, but it's the effects, the origin story. Even though I don't like origin stories as a whole, as of lately, it's still one of the better ones of ever. The story itself, when you look at, we talk about consistency in characters. Batman's consistency throughout all the movies is amazing. He actually has a true character arc. I'm not going to spoil anything for Billy. I'm trying to really avoid spoilers here. The Dark Knight.
Wait, Billy hasn't seen. I forgot he hasn't seen.
Yeah,
That's so.
yeah, I'm really trying not to spoil anything. I'm trying to speak in the broadest of terms. The Dark Knight is, it's in my opinion, one of the three greatest, undoubtedly top three greatest superhero movies of all time. It's sometimes back and forth between The Dark Knight and Logan when you think about just amazing cinematic superhero stories. The Joker is one of the greatest villains ever. And after Batman Begins, watching The Dark Knight, watching Heath Ledger, everybody was skeptical once again, despite the amazing critical acclaim and just the amazing story that Batman Begins had. The Dark Knight went out and did it even better. What is it? Let's go ahead and go back to this. I think this is the second highest rated movie on IMDb. What is it? A 9.0.
Wait, which one? The Begins?
Huh? No. This is the second one, The Dark Knight, the one with the Joker.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm sure you've heard all the praise for The Dark Knight, so I'm not gonna say anything else about that movie. That movie's one of the greatest ever. Now, The Dark Knight Rises. I gotta say, Tom Hardy in this, he's my favorite villain. Of course, Heath Ledger's the best, and his Joker is the best of the three, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. But anytime I hear Bane's voice, I don't know, it gives me some sort of weird high.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Rises it's one of, I don't know why people don't like it as much as the first two. It's because more and more people went in thinking, oh, The Dark Knight just came out. That was a transcendent movie that everybody loved. This movie better be even better than that. And it didn't meet those expectations. For me, it did. But for most people, it didn't. But don't listen to those people. Those people are stupid. The Dark Knight Rises is amazing. All of these movies, I think that it goes from like 9.0 level to like 9.5. And then, well, 9.0, 10.0, 9.8. I'll say that because I feel like The Dark Knight is definitely the best. All of them are great movies that will keep you excited throughout the entire runtime. Speaking in the broadest of terms, these are all some of the greatest superhero movies you'll ever see.
I would say these are the greatest superhero movies. This is the greatest superhero trilogy of all time. No cap. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think that all these movies are really fine. I really, really like Bane. Like, and
Yes,
I like the
bro, Bane. I don't know.
on that one.
Every single time I hear his voice and I hear Tom Hardy in the Bane like that weird voice, other people are like it's so unintelligible and I hate it. It just gives me like some sort of. It
Tom
makes
Hardy
me.
is in this.
Yeah, he's Tom Hardy's Bane.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Uh,
Alfred. Alfred is fire, bro. We sleep on Alfred.
oh yeah, we do be sleeping on Alfred. Yo, and then I don't want. Oh, I was about to spoil something. It's just I'll say this movies take a lot of guts to do, and Nolan does a great job with all of them.
Hey, Nebu, have
Yeah.
you seen Logan?
Actually, Logan. Yeah.
What do you think compared to Logan?
For me, Logan was super like it was really gruesome. I wasn't prepared for like how dark the tone was. But compared to this, like I mean, Logan didn't really have like a story almost. It didn't really have like that much of a plot to where this movie, the plot, it go crazy. You know, Batman. This is Batman. This is who Batman is. You know what I mean? Every other Batman is a reiteration of this Batman. You know what I mean? Because the actor's perfect. I guess these movies are hard to compare because they really try to hit two different marks. But I mean, this movie it hits the mark for it hits what it's trying to do. You'll love it.
Billy, I want your opinion first before me and Nebby vote. Billy, where do you put this?
Sounds interesting. I would like to put it legendary, but
What? What? He said, "Hey, this is literally like me and Yabek have a fan." This movie.
Do you know how rare it is that me and Nebby are like on the same exact page at all times? You can go back to any of the podcasts. There's like 90% of the time I'm disagreeing with him or he's just completely
Yeah.
contradicting what I said. We are on the same exact page here, man.
you know, it's because some days I like Batman, some days some days I'm okay with Batman, some days I just don't like him. Like,
But, like, you don't know Batman, though. That's because you
okay.
haven't
no,
seen
but
it.
like,
Hold up. So as of right now, you have Thor at really, really good. I'll go ahead and say, you know how much I love Thor, and I know how much I love Thor Ragnarok. The Dark Knight trilogy as a whole, it is at least 10 times better than all of those movies combined.
Dang, but Yabek knows, man.
yeah, but
He's
that's
spit fast.
crazy.
He's spit.
That's crazy, bruh.
All right, maybe we should
All right.
come back to that, Billy. I don't know.
All right, Bill, we'll give you some time to think. Nebby,
Alright.
Maybe you already know 100%. Easiest pick to go. Legendary. That's a
yes,
fact.
sir. Yes, sir. However, I gotta go with Y. All right, over to Billy.
Why you tapping?
You dead ass. You
Nah,
can't, bro.
He doesn't fit in that category.
I'm gonna go with pretty good, or either pretty good or really, really good.
It's like. Take
Now
that
I'm,
back.
playing, now I'm playing. It's legendary. There's no doubt about the legendariness of this. You know what? Now, right here, I'm gonna play Barney Stinson. I'm gonna edit that in. I'm gonna edit my guy Barney Stinson into this.
Wait for it. 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 I'm not waiting for it anymore. Dairy! Legendary!
All right, Billy.
Alright. I think I'm gonna stick with really, really good.
Oh,
Well,
you
I
know,
can understand that because he hasn't
okay.
seen it.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I mean?
hasn't seen him. He has.
You haven't
You know,
seen
Nebby. Now I'm really scared that he's gonna go in, and because of how much we
yeah.
hyped it up, we hyped it
Yeah.
up so much though.
Let me
You
tell
know
this,
what, Billy?
the first
Billy,
movie
these
is
are
slow.
garbage. Go in with the lowest of expectations.
I'm not
I don't
even
know.
lying though. Like the first movie is slow, but it's slow.
Oh, yeah,
If you're
yeah.
thinking about like where's the hype at, you're not gonna find it at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
I just find it difficult for like a superhero with no powers to be really a super.
Ant-Man.
Yo.
Ant-Man.
This
It's like
man,
Ant-Man.
this man is so cool in this. Like he is so badass.
Yeah.
Like you
So
really
bad.
can't. All right, so Billy, let's go into the John Wickiverse.
Let's do this. Okay,
Alright.
John Wick, a hitman, a retired hitman. This dude goes crazy because somebody kills his dog, man. Like, I mean, we all get mad somebody mess with your dog, but this dude went and just like went crazy. He went stupid. Started killing people, and this dude moves differently. He's like, you think he's all calm? Um, I'm still in this
Yo,
line. I'm still in this line from somewhere else. But have you ever seen of a beast that you thought would never bite, but then actually did?
Oh,
oh, that's
Because
I
I
did.
haven't.
I did.
Like this dude is like, you think he's calm, but I really did not think this was the type of movie at the beginning, because he seemed all sweet and calm, and then they show flashback of his wife, um, and then he ends up doing the. I don't even know like who does this. I don't even know if he does these stunts.
oh, I think he does because I've seen him. I've seen just some YouTube videos where Keanu Reeves is, testing out a gun, just exercising, practicing with his mechanical and his skill with the use of just a handheld gun, and then Keanu Reeves is like crazy athletic, like
Yeah,
crazy athletic.
that's one thing I like about him. His combat style. He knows how to fight.
Oh,
Um, he can fight multiple people at a time. And what moves me about this movie is, yeah, you think it's about the dog, even though I just said all that about the dog, but it's bigger than that. The dog is a memento from his wife, and I think that's a very that creates a passion that moves a plot and just that makes it great, just
all
for
right.
viewers. Yeah.
I'll go ahead as I always have to do. I'm gonna praise the filmmakers and the editing crew for this because and the stunt choreographer, whoever choreographed the stunts in this movie, their willingness to nowadays, if you look at like any Marvel movies, you'll see cuts happening every 5 seconds. You don't get to like be immersed in the action. It's like one
That's
punch. You
right.
don't even get to see a punch hit. But in here, they go one long shot. You follow Keanu Reeves beating up 10 to 20 dudes in one shot, and you get to see this. This is like watching an MMA fight live, and they don't cheat you out of anything. The filmmakers do an amazing job. These colors, this man John Wick, and anytime he steps in blue, you automatically know, oh, he's gonna kill somebody. He's gonna go crazy. Anytime he steps in the color blue, anytime he goes into specific rooms, that in John Wick 3, I know all of us have seen it. That scene with all of the mirrors, that was crazy. Watching them go through that mirror, I genuinely did not know where he was. I was confused, but I was still invested at that point.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and praise the filmmakers for that. However, now that I praise them, I gotta critique. I know I understand this. They do a great job with world building. They do an amazing job with giving him a motive. But at times, I feel like the plot can get stale. They can begin to rely a bit too much on the action, which they probably should do because this is an action movie and they do great with that. But of course, when you go this much into the action, the plot will take some hits, and it's slightly noticeable at some points in the trilogy.
Yo, let me say this though. I only saw the third Dominic. I haven't seen the whole trilogy, but I did. I walked into it like I didn't know what to expect, and this movie was gruesome as crap. Like when I knew this movie was gonna be different was when they broke that guy's jaw, and I was like, dang. And I remember the first time I couldn't look was when he stabbed that guy's eye. Like I couldn't look at that. But overall, I really did like this movie. I thought like, especially just John Wick 3. I can't really speak on the whole trilogy. You know what I mean? But just looking at this movie, yeah, I really did like it. But there was one guy who was like the devil on your shoulder. Whispering like complaints. You know what I mean? And that guy
Mhm.
was yeah, like he was complaining. He was like, why doesn't he just like wear like the defense like costumes? What is it called? Like the armor of like the people he kills and like
You don't care.
how can somebody survive like that fall? I don't want to spoil anything for like anybody, but that was like that's sort of like maybe just like a little bit because like there were I don't know those complaints, but I guess but other than that, this movie was Final Cap. It was hard to watch because it was so bloody. And I'm a wimp, but I did watch it, and it was good.
Nebby, go ahead. Where would you rank it?
No, I'm basing this off the movie I saw. Would you guys say that the third one is like how does it stack to like the first?
Oh yeah, that's what I want. I forgot what I was gonna say. I'll say this trilogy does a great job in getting better and better as it goes along. I think the third one is the best of the three, but that's no hit on the first two. The first two are still really good in their own right, but they just go better and better with the fighting style. They go heavier and heavier with everything, and it just gets better as you go along.
What do you say?
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. That means I saw like the best one, and I haven't seen like the worst.
Oh no! I also watched John Wick 3 first,
Oh,
but going back, the first two they're still really really good. They still hit you in the same places that the third one does.
I gotta tell you, the ending of the second one creates a good plot for the third one.
Oh yeah. Going back to the second one, watching the ending, I was like, oh, I really really wish I saw that first.
yeah.
You wouldn't think he was that type of man, like to do what he did at the end. Man, it really shows you what kind of character he is. He doesn't play.
So I'm gonna have to give this a really really good.
All right, I'll go ahead and I'll match you with that really really good. Actually,
Oh.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, I'm gonna match you with the really, really good. Billy?
Yes, I will also put in really, really good.
Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about Rush Hour. I feel like this is a really good one to close out. Rush Hour. I just recently rewatched Rush Hour a few. What about? For our rewatchables category, rewatchables, is that it? The most rewatchable movies podcast. Yeah. This is one of those franchises where you don't really have to go back to those last two movies, but after I watched the first one, it just has you in like this such a specific mood. It's like as you're watching it, there's nothing that can take you.
Yeah.
You're like,
Exactly.
and then you want to feel that again. So you guess what? You go to Rush Hour 2, and then you go to Rush Hour 3. And when I was thinking about the Hangover trilogy, I remember that first movie and everything that happened there, right? When it comes to Rush Hour, when I think of all the iconic scenes, think about that church scene with the French woman, with the French the priestess, the nun, the French nun. That's the third movie. When you think about they have the third movie, I'm trying to remember back now because I just watched it a few weeks ago, and maybe it's
The bald woman.
Huh?
Woman, the bald woman.
The bald woman. That's the third one. These movies are so. I know a lot of people won't put them at this level, but for me, they're just iconic. When you think back of everything in Rush Hour, you think of do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? In the second movie, yes. In the second movie, I realized halfway through that they brought that back up. I didn't remember this at first, but once they brought it up, he was like, they were on the boat. And then right after Lee thought that Carter had died, and then he pulls up on the boat, and then he's like, oh my God, you are here. Oh, you and me, that scene. You, me, that's the third movie too. So much iconic stuff in each and every single one of these movies. I can't. I'll wait. I don't think it's any secret where I'm going to put this. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys talk about it a little bit before I give my actual ranking.
Well, what we talked about this movie before when we were talking about it versus what other movie was called?
Yup.
Yeah, I saw that
I'm saying
movie.
right now. Yup. I now regret choosing The Big Lebowski over Rush Hour.
Oh, yeah.
That's
crazy.
I holistically regret. As I was making my reviews, I was like, hold up. I put The Big Lebowski over I just rewatched Rush Hour, and I rewatched Rush Hour 2, and I rewatched Rush Hour 3, and I was laughing so much out of throughout every single one of the movies.
When I saw The Big Lebowski, I thought it was okay. I thought it was good, but nowhere near.
It's still it's a really good movie. It's a hilarious movie. Rush Hour, just wow. Well, how old were you guys when you first saw Rush Hour?
Maybe
I
like
don't even know, man.
yeah.
I don't
I've
know
watched it
either.
so many times. I have no
I
idea.
I know. I just watched it, and I'm willing to go back and watch it again, like right now. Oh my goodness, these are
Who you say
some.
what's that one that last thing? The one the
What,
I don't know if we ever finished it. If we ever came to a conclusion about a winner for
oh,
that.
we never did. We made it a tie, but as of right now, if anybody is listening to this now, you officially get a conclusion to the podcast from a month ago. The Rush Hour is the most rewatchable movie, undoubtedly to me right now. Now, I'm not even gonna even wait. I'm gonna go ahead and put this as legendary. There's no question about it for me. It's undoubtedly legendary.
Dang, I was legendary. Let's think about what that word means though. Legendary. What does that mean?
It's a legend. A legend is something or somebody that lives on forever. Rush
Oh
Hour
yeah.
is literally the embodiment of that. When you think about legendary, I feel like rewatchability also actually plays a role. I didn't really think about it, but legendary is forever. You're willing to go back to these movies anytime you want to, and they'll still hold a special place for you. Rush Hour, it just does a perfect job with that for me.
I'd agree. I'd agree. Then this is a chance. Yeah, I'm like he's been enlightened. I see. I would agree. This movie is legendary.
It's legendary in my mind. Now, let's go over to Billy.
You already know me with the comedy. Yo,
Oh
when I
yeah.
talk about comedy, this movie is it. Right. Definitely legendary.
Undoubtedly, man. Let's.
We all came to agreement. Our final decision was a universal
All
one.
right. I want to go ahead. I'm going to take a screenshot of what we have now. And I want to see if all of the decisions that we've made so far hold up even at this exact moment. Because, of course, movies, very subjective. Our opinions change about movies all the time. I want to see if you guys agree with your own opinions from a few minutes ago. So, welcome back. Now, we have just picked our list, our tiers for each of our movies. Each of the franchises that we have decided to rank. And what I've talked about a lot in these podcasts is the subjectivity of film and just how from one second to another, your opinion on something can change so easily. So we're going to test that out by you are going to re-rank everything here and we're going to compare it to your original. I will go ahead and start off with my rankings of oh shoot, Lord of the Rings. I gotta go with legendary. I'm gonna go. So let's match up and see just
Damn.
me
You got like
speeding through this. Alright, so places right automatically. So Billy only missed 3, just like I predicted.
yes, sir. Ski.
All right, but either way, so you changed up 3, I changed up 5, Nebby changed up 14.
I put the rest.
Poor guy.
That just shows, like, even after this was not even a few. It's not like we chose these a week ago. We chose this a few minutes ago, a few hours ago, and we still changed up some of our decisions. Once again, Billy, he did the best. Only changed up 3. I changed up 5, and Mr. Nebby changed up 14. Go ahead, comment down. Nebby changed up 14 because that's a lot. We only had that's half of them. I think we had 28 or 29 movies, and you changed up 14 of them.
Damn.
All right, thanks so much for watching.
Yes, like, share, put this on your story. I have a cape, and yeah.
Peace out.